I think a lot of people are capable of working and are willing to work, but it's just the way it's set up. The mother and the children are better off if the husband isn't working or if the husband isn't there.
To all those people complaining that U.S. aid has been wasting cash on these programs, do you have any idea how expensive it is to run an international program to inspire trans rappers in Bangladesh? Do you have any clue how hard that is? Because I do. I do, because I did that for a year. And let me tell you, finding the manpower, flying it out there, building the studios, buying the equipment, replacing the equipment, getting people back and forth, auditioning thousands of members of the trans community in Bangladesh out of billions of people in one of the most densely populated populations on Earth? You think that's going to be cheap? You think 20 million is enough to pay for that? Because it wasn't. We needed more money, and even then, we barely delivered 2 albums that year. It's not a lot of cash. When you're running a program across an ocean, across the planet, and you're trying to make a difference in these countries, we could have gone to 100 million. The point being, $20 million is not a lot of money relative to our budget, but we moved the needle in Bangladesh with those rap albums. We created political change, positive change. We inspired people to think about diversity, equity, and inclusion in Bangladesh for the first time. Without US aid, that would not have been possible. And you are going to throw the baby out with the bathwater on this one, Elon. You have got to leave it alone. Stop it. Stop throwing it all out, tearing it all up for nothing. Listen to these rap albums. Listen to the rap albums and get back to me. And you will say, you know what? I'm not sure we're doing the right thing here. The music was beautiful. It's a travesty. We have to resist.
It only took Hitler 60 days to rise to being a dictator after being elected. Donald Trump is on day 18, and just 2 days ago, the Justice Department released a memo reinstating the death penalty for federal crimes. They had a long list of violent crimes that warrant the death penalty, and at the very end, they slipped in illegal immigration. Just last week, Donald Trump announced that Guantanamo Bay, which has only previously held 1,000 prisoners, will be repurposed to house 30,000 deported migrants. This week, he has started deporting migrants to Guantanamo Bay, but has yet to build a facility that can hold 30,000 deported migrants. Instead, they will be staying in tent camps on the island. Genocide does not only happen through the forceful execution of a people, it can also happen through the neglect of resources, food, shelter, and medical care. It is very difficult to get resources to Guantanamo Bay, as it can only be accessed by airplane or ship. And with the lack of resources, shelter, and medical supplies on Guantanamo Bay, it is very clear that the deported migrants will not be leaving. The United States is not worth dying for, and being in the country without the proper paperwork is not deserving of the death penalty. It is important to remember in these times that in World War II Germany, the Holocaust also began as a mass deportation effort.
$43 million on a gas station in Afghanistan that had no customers. Still less, though, than what Biden paid for a charging station here. $1.5 million to promote gays, lesbians, and trans in Jamaica. Jamaican me crazy. $4 million for trans Serbians, $5.5 million for gay rights in Uganda. Over $6 million for men who have sex with men in South Africa. That's just how it was described. $17 million to promote inclusion in Vietnam. It's just probably another way of saying it went to trans. We carpet bombed them and then we paid them to cross-dress. $25 million to promote green transportation in Georgia, not the state, the country. And it's not like we took the money and bought them electric cars. We just paid a shady agency to put up a billboard that says, buy electric cars. $1 million for Arab and Jewish photographers. Are you Jewish? Are you Arab? Do you have cameras? Here's a check. $8 million to teach Sri Lankan journalists how to avoid binary gendered language. Translation, we spent $8 million so that a reporter in Sri Lanka doesn't write he or she. Well, at least nobody died, right? Wrong. $122 million of the USAID money was given to terrorists. The Taliban is taxpayer funded. So was the Wuhan lab, so we're on a roll.
This dude is probably one of the most unintelligent billionaires I have ever met or seen. They're putting 19-year-olds in at the Treasury. This dude is not smart. I mean, this guy is one of the most morally vacant, but also least knowledgeable about these systems. What that means is that they're going to hit a button and things can go sideways.
You cannot indiscriminately hit buttons. One of the things that I really like about AOC is that she comes from an ordinary blue-collar background and is now in Congress. But what I didn't know is that AOC promoting USAID all over X today, actually, she herself came from a USAID program in college to jumpstart her miracle political career. How extraordinary. There's so often sort of secondary narratives that we're not aware of that help us to appreciate people's biases.
My dollar's going towards this crap, and I know the American people don't either. If you look at the waste and abuse that has run through USAID over the past several years, these are some of the insane priorities that organization has been spending money on. $1.5 million to advance DEI in Serbia's workplaces, $70,000 for a production of a DEI musical in Ireland, $47,000 for a transgender opera in Colombia, $32,000 for a transgender comic book in Peru. I don't know about you, but as an American taxpayer, I don't want my dollars going towards this crap, and I know the American people don't either, and that's exactly what Elon Musk has been tasked by President Trump to do, to get the fraud, waste, and abuse out of our federal government.